and welcome to EMA's Health and Safety Podcast. My name is Kevin Chambers, and I'm really pleased that you've chosen to join us today. If you're already following this podcast, thank you. If you've just stumbled across it, then don't forget to hit the follow button. This podcast can be viewed on both Spotify and YouTube, and I think Apple TV as well. So today we've got a very, very interesting topic and a very interesting guest. I'd like to introduce you to Rebekah Stevens. Rebekah is one of my colleagues. She's been working at EMA now for about a year and a half. And what we'll be talking about, Rebekah, is professional accreditation. I believe that congratulations are due to you.
Thank you.
Tell us about what's happened recently for you.
Yes, so I have achieved my accredited professional status with NZISM. So that's the New Zealand Institute of Safety Management. And they're an industry body that recognises health and safety professionals in New Zealand. So very exciting to get that official recognition. And they are partners with HAZANS, so the Health and Safety Association of New Zealand. And that collects everyone within any related health and safety industry, so occupational therapists, all of those different physios, all together, and they have a giant register, and they do fun, exciting things like conferences. So
and you are on the register.
On the register.
Yes. So look, congratulations. It's a big thing, right?
It is.
A lot of work went into achieving this. Initial work, of course, is gaining an appropriate qualification, which you did a number of years ago. But what about the accreditation process then through NZISM and through HAZANS? What did that involve?
So they've got different levels. First is the accredited practitioner, then accredited professional, certified professional, and then you become a certified fellow with NZISM. So there's different stages. The first two stages, the accredited practitioner and professional, you need to have a certain level qualification. So like the EMA's Health and Safety Diploma or even our Level 4 certificate.
I think Level 4 is the accredited
is the practitioner,
and the Level 6 enables people to become an accredited professional.
Professional level, exactly. And so you need to have that plus a certain number of hours of practical experience with working in the industry, and then you submit your application and off you go. Fingers crossed, off you go.
And then maintaining your accreditation, I believe, requires you to undertake a certain number of hours of CPD, continuous professional development through the year, and that's outside of your work, right? Yeah. So how does someone who maybe has the quals and has got a great job as a health and safety professional, but they're not sure where to get their CPD from. Obviously, you can come and attend training at EMA, but this podcast, for example, would qualify.
It could do, absolutely. And there's a bunch of exciting stuff that is happening. So obviously, like the stuff that we're doing here at the EMA, there's also lots of industry meetings and webinars and networking events that you can go to, and our conferences, obviously, there's lots of health and safety conferences you can go to, lots of learning. So a real key part of it is to keep learning and keep pushing yourself. So I would strongly recommend, engaging with, even if it's just a little short one-day course, to keep yourself up to date.
What about e-learning? Would that be accepted as well?
100%.
What about attending National Safety Show, for example?
I put that down.
You put that in, and it was accepted. I understand attending the Safeguard conference, of course it's a conference, but National Safety Show. Look, that's brilliant. And congratulations once again. This clearly was important for you, but it's also important for, I was going to say for the industry, that's the wrong word. It's also important for the profession, right?
It is.
In the past, and we're only going back 10 or so years, health and safety wasn't considered a profession. And where do you feel we're sitting now?
We're definitely heading more towards it being a professional career that people are choosing, but there's a lot of shifting between it's, someone's got a job doing something else, maybe they're an HR or a general manager, and health and safety just gets lumped on with that.
Right. We often hear that where health and safety is a
Yeah.
part of someone's job. And for example, many of the people that are on our diploma, they began with a small role in health and safety, and as things grew, suddenly now it's their full-time position and they go from there.
That's how I started too, yeah.
Okay, yeah. And again, out there, not now talking about health and safety professionals, but how do you think, or how do you feel that they're viewed by the general public? Do the general public view someone who's a health and safety practitioner, it's their full-time job, do they view that as a profession? Do they, for example, view that as potentially a career move for themselves or for their children? How's it viewed?
I think there is more curiosity around it. I'd say that it isn't as well known as it should be.
Okay.
We definitely need more health and safety people. There is so much work to do and not enough of us to go around.
Yep.
I think that has become very clear even with the safety culture program that we do. You know, I'm working with different businesses. Roles usually are in that similar boat where they're straddling multiple things and they're trying to do all these, different tasks. But once they dig into it and they realize you can, if you want to do it properly, you've kind of got to go all in and have someone who is properly trained, gets that experience, gets that capability, and then keeps moving forward because it's always changing. The legislation is changing, technology is changing, the expectations of workers are changing, and so we need to be keeping up with everything else that's happening in the workforce. And it's a really interesting, unique position to be within the business.
Yep.
I find it quite odd that it's lumped in often with HR, which has a very different approach to health and safety.
Yeah.
Because in that sort of field, it's like if you make a mistake, you get into trouble. Whereas in health and safety, what you want to be aiming for is tell us your mistakes. Let's fix it together. It's like flipping everything on its head.
Yeah. So getting rid of the blame culture. And looking at working together to solve problems, accepting that error can happen. We're human beings after all. But moving forward together, both the employer and employee, to ensure that lessons are learned and things can be made safer.
Yeah, 100%. And it can be quite challenging sometimes as well. So you do need to have a bit of a thick skin, and I would strongly encourage people like go for it, jump into it, but also don't be afraid of the friction because it is part of the work. You're getting information from workers, you're doing your own research and digging, and you're finding things, and sometimes what you find isn't what people want to hear, but they need to hear it. And you can't just throw your toys out the cot and go, oh, you guys are terrible. You've got to keep working with everyone and kind of pull them on that journey together, right? And they need that help. And you want to get to that point on the other side where they're going, oh my gosh, it was so worth it. Like, this is so much easier. It's so much safer. Why didn't we do this at the beginning? And you just need that different perspective within the business to kind of link the workers with the leadership and kind of marry those priorities together, because actually we all want the same thing. We're just coming at it from different angles.
We do, and that's safer outcomes, right?
Yeah.
It's an interesting position to be a health and safety professional because unlike other middle to senior managers in an organisation, a health and safety professional really is across the entire organisation.
Yeah.
So they need to be able to talk to the accountants, to talk to the CEO, to talk to the board, to talk to other senior leaders, to empathise with the perspectives that they've got, but still provide enough energy and enough reasons why the health and safety initiatives that they're putting forward are both necessary and will add value. These people need to have a wide skill set, a very, very wide skill set.
Yeah, and that's why you'll find a lot of people have started in a completely different field and landed up in doing health and safety. But I think that's actually strengthening the profession, because having that knowledge of different departments is so essential, and it's kind of what makes it really interesting, because instead of just sitting at your desk doing work all the time, you've got to get up and you've got to go and look at things yourself, and you've got to go and talk to people, and you can't just be hiding behind a clipboard. You actually need to go and talk to people and figure things out for yourself. And then once you've gathered all that information, you need to take that data and turn it into something that's going to make sense for the leaders and sometimes even for the workers to kind of say, hey, look, this is what I'm finding. Yeah. Let's talk about it. Let's explore it. What are some of the best ways? And I think the real key part of it is that it's solution focused. Yeah. So you want to be finding what is the best way to work through this problem and still be a functioning business.
and achieve safer outcomes.
Yeah. 100%.
Clearly, for you to become accredited, the qualification was required.
Yes.
There are a lot of health and safety people out there that don't have qualifications. What would your advice to them be? And by the way, folks, I'm not trying to do a sales pitch for our certain diploma courses, but it's more, I suppose, in your journey and the learning that you did to get the qualification. How did that add value for you?
Massively. I think the biggest thing was understanding a lot of the technical requirements.
Okay.
There is a huge technical part to health and safety, which is absolutely essential to understand, and it makes a really key point in understanding that information in a way that makes sense to what do leaders need to do about this.
Yep.
It's like the so what.
Yep.
You study so that you can actually help people more, and you have different skills and frameworks and calculations and things that you can turn to that adds authority and credibility to what you're doing. And certainly from working with Paul Jarvie at the EMA, I know that any qualification where he's working on it will be amazing. And I wish that I had studied with you guys, because that would have just been fantastic. The real world experience that you're getting from that hands-on in-person training, you just can't beat it. And I've learned so much from him already.
That's great, yeah. And our viewers will be familiar with Paul. We're very lucky to have Paul here at the EMA. You may have even seen a couple of podcasts that he's been interviewed for us. I think, Rebekah, you interviewed him once.
Yes.
Our course is designed so that it is practical, and I heard what you said before, just around being able to learn and then apply it, and that's certainly how we've set it up. We want people going back into the workplace and gathering evidence and making decisions based on what they've found and what they're analysing, and that seems to be a large part of what a health and safety professional has to do. Yeah. And the knowledge and the skills that they have, the knowledge and skills that you've got, are very portable, or transferable maybe is the right word. So it wouldn't really matter what the industry was. The fact that you've got the knowledge and skills that you've got, you could apply those in a primary industry, you could apply those in the manufacturing industry, you could apply those in a tourism setting. It wouldn't matter, would it? And therefore, career opportunities are through the roof.
Yeah. Yeah, they are. And there's, like I said, there is a huge amount of work to do. There's so much work. Like, if you just think about New Zealand stats compared to the likes of Australia or the UK, very similar legislation, New Zealand is tracking way behind. So there is a huge amount of work to do. And I think the real gap there is having professionals, practitioners who know what they're doing, who know what they're looking for, and they understand how all the different components link in together. Because you want to have that combination of formal qualifications and practical experience, and like you say, applying it. I found it really fascinating studying and working, because it's like such a crash course, and I think that's the best way to do it for health and safety, especially because what you're learning is across so many different departments. What's happening in accounts could be affecting the sales team, but it's actually now become a health and safety issue, or something in the manufacturing is affecting, the finance team, and now it's a health and safety issue. So it's so important to understand how all those different components link in together, and what's going to actually deliver a meaningful change for the people that you're working for.
What would you say then for a practitioner who maybe is struggling getting the message across in their organisation? And I heard it many years, decade or so ago, that a health and safety professional is kind of a salesperson in a way. What they're selling is better health and safety outcomes. And sometimes there's a cost associated with that, whether it's engineering controls or additional training or something. So let's imagine that one of our viewers maybe is not quite as further in their career as you are, and they're having trouble sort of getting the message across. What sort of advice would you perhaps give to them?
Know your audience.
Yes.
So you really need to speak their language. How you pitch something to your health and safety committee is going to be quite different to how you pitch it to the board, to your operational leaders, your senior leaders. And so you really need to understand what are their priorities, what are the things that they care about, what are some of those key words that are going to make them sit up and pay attention. And not just for the sake of the word, it needs to actually land and be meaningful.
Mm-hmm.
So rather than saying, we need to spend $1 million on this new machine that's going to make everything safe, it needs to tie in with some of the priorities like productivity, like efficiency, like profits, and linking it back all to that safety factor. Because ultimately, if running a business is going to cost people's lives, most business owners won't knowingly choose that.
No.
They're not in business to kind of hurt people and take advantage. That's not generally the Kiwi way. We want to look at, they become like our work family, right? We want to take care of them. And so you want to make sure that at each different level, you're giving them what they need to hear, the information, the data. Often it's stuck in our heads and we need to find a way just to like put it out there. And that's where I think having the combination of formal qualifications and that practical experience is so important, because you do have to blend them together. It is a bit of marrying it and kind of compromising on some things. You might not bash people over the head in that exact moment, and then you might have a quiet word with them afterwards and say...
You choose your battles in the right time.
Exactly. You have to know the personalities, who's in the room, how are they going to, maybe... Sometimes I guess it is a bit of a sales thing, because you have to kind of go and have some quiet conversations with some of those key people that are going to influence everybody else in the organization and actually use their expertise as well. The key thing, and you kind of touched on it before, as a health and safety person, I'm not necessarily the expert in their particular risks. I'm an expert in my field, analyzing, understanding, interpreting, kind of, linking all those different things together. But workers are usually the experts in the risk. And so it's really important as a health and safety person to capture that information, to help them feel heard and recognized, and weave that into whatever your recommendations are to make those improvements, because then they're actually going to follow it. They're going to do, they've had a say in what the rules are. So they're going to follow the rules when no one's there. And that's really important.
Well, you're talking about influencing skills there, aren't you? And this is a skill that a lot of professionals lack. I don't mean just in the health and safety profession, but the ability to influence in a positive way to get the outcomes that they're looking for. One way that organisations perhaps can improve their outcomes, perhaps if they don't have enough resources within their organisation, would be to engage with a consultant. And of course, you could be a consultant now because you're now on the HAZANS register.
Yes, but I'm not.
please don't leave the EMA. We've still got plenty of work for you to do here. But let's imagine then I'm an organisation and we're not very mature with respect to the way we approach health and safety. We know that there's more to do before we perhaps employ someone full-time to do that work. We do want to engage with a consultant. How would we go about doing that?
Well, we have a team of consultants here at the EMA, so obviously call us if you're a member. There is a list on HAZANS, so if you go to the hazans.co.nz website and there's just a register that you can type in someone's name, or you can filter by exactly what type of health and safety professional you're looking for. And that is a great way of sense checking someone to make sure that, yes, they are who they say they are. They can't be. They wouldn't be on the register otherwise. I mean, that was part of the reason why the concept of HAZANS in the register was introduced, some 10, 11 years ago. You can filter by region, no doubt. Good, so they can see. I think there's 400 or 500 people on the register now from memory. So that's great. Well, how would they choose between 2 or 3 people that, right region seems to be well respected, blah, blah, blah. How would we choose? Would you say, well, choose someone who's
got experience in your industry, or is that not so important, again, given the wide skills that a good health and safety professional has?
I think it's a combination of different things.
Yeah.
So it depends on what you're after as well. If you're after something really specific and niche,
Yep.
then you will need to find someone who's got those specific skills and qualifications.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, I would say call them up and have an introduction chat,
Yep.
like just see if you click. It's really important that you can be super honest with the person that you're working with.
Yep.
A lot of health and safety is finding problems and solving those problems. And you can't do a good job if you're dealing with pretend problems at the surface. You need to actually dig deeper.
Yep.
And trust is a really important part of that. So finding someone that you can trust, they've got a decent qualification, they've got a good amount of skills. I'd say consultants, you're looking at around at least 5 years
Yep.
of experience
Okay.
as a minimum.
Yep.
But yeah, it really depends on how you connect.
What the organisation's needs are.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of the consultants, of course, know each other. And we know that with the consultants that we've got at EMA, sometimes a piece of work will come to them. Perhaps they don't have the capacity at that moment, but they're aware of another EMA consultant that can do the same job.
Yeah.
And that's how it works.
And it's actually quite useful sometimes, because even if you hire one consultant, often, like I certainly know with the EMA team, they'll bounce ideas off each other.
Yep.
And kind of go, to sense check and go, yep, this is the best way, or I'm thinking about this. Oh, yeah, maybe this is a good idea.
Yep.
And it forms a great community to actually confirm your thinking around a solution or a problem.
Yeah, look, I'm glad that you brought up community, because what I wanted to move into now is the concept of networking. And again, being accredited with NZISM, being accredited with HAZANTS, how is your network growing? And
Yes.
and if so, which is a good thing, right?
Yes.
And if so, well, what are the benefits of that for you, and therefore for our viewers? Having a good, strong network.
Well, massively confidence boosting, I have to say. It feels, I spend a lot of time being the only person working in a business doing health and safety, studying, it's kind of isolating in a lot of ways. And this is such a great way of building connections, having other people that you can bounce ideas off, ask advice from, just go, oh, am I overthinking this, or have I missed something? Just having those connections, even just to have conversations and see other health and safety people confirming my own thinking.
Yep.
I've just joined one of the NZISM Connect groups and saw one of the presentations, and it was just so encouraging to see that the way that I've approached things is actually the way that the industry at large is thinking and approaching things. And it just made me feel so much more confident in my approach. And I think that is a huge part of, the benefits of taking this accreditation route is, a lot of the time you are being challenged in the workplace. You're kind of the meat in the sandwich, and the workers want something and the managers want something and you want something, and you're just like, campaigning for different things. But having this group of people that are supporting you, that are facing the same struggles as you, the same challenges, and they often will find the same solutions, and they can guide you and support you in, finding those safe outcomes. And it's not just about the workers that you're supporting, it's also about looking after ourselves as individuals, because as much as we're out there looking after everybody else, we also need to take care of ourselves and make sure that we are filling our own cup.
So having a strong network enables that.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so let's finish off with I am a health and safety. I'm not. Viewers know I'm not a health and safety professional, but imagine if I were a health and safety professional. I've got an appropriate qual, but I'm not accredited with NZISM. I'm not accredited. I'm not on the HAZANTS register. How much work is involved in getting that across the line? And I know it's going to be hard for you to put an exact number on it, but when you made the decision, right, I want to get accredited, I want to get on the register, just how big a job was that, and what I'm hoping you'll come back and say, well, actually, it was quite straightforward, Kevin. It wasn't that complex, but I had some paperwork I had to pull together, and NZISM were very helpful, as we're Hazans. Can you just give us some insights, just in case there's someone who's watching who's like, look, I've thought about it, but it feels a little bit daunting. It feels like I'm too busy at the moment. I just don't think I've got the time.
Well, I think that's what I thought of it too. And it was actually PJ who recommended that I go for it and I apply and I do it. And I'm so glad that I did, because it was dead easy.
Okay. Yeah. Oh,
it
good.
was dead easy. I've done the qualification. That's the hardest part of getting all of that done. And then it's just the hours and making sure that you've got a record of how many hours you've worked. So for the professional level, I think it was a level 6 qualification.
That's correct.
And 4,000 hours of time working as a health and safety person.
How many years does that equate to? What is it, 40?
Oh, math's not
40,
good.
hang on, 40 weeks a year, 40 times 5. That's...
oh, no, I forget you were a maths teacher.
That's 200, so that's 200 days times 8. Oh, well, it sounds like, so 4,000 is 2.5 years?
Thereabouts, yeah. So it has to be within the last 5 years.
Okay.
So that's the limit on it.
Yep.
And I obviously have that. I did take the longer route because I was just saying this is my 9th year of working in health and safety. Most people won't take this long to get here.
Yeah.
But yeah, life happens, and I'm so glad that I stuck with it, because I've had so many moments where I was like, oh my God, am I doing the right thing? Am I crazy? Like, why am I doing this? Like, what is this? But at the end of the day, I'm helping people. I'm not just, doing some, I don't know, meaningless work somewhere. Not to bash anyone else's work, but I didn't feel totally fulfilled with the stuff that I was doing before. And I feel now when I can tell my children, like, I do health and safety, I'm preventing people from being hurt at work. And even though my son doesn't like my safety interventions, he thinks...
At home, you mean?
Yeah, he doesn't like those.
Yeah.
But I think he can respect that this is a real serious job and it has a future. And I like to... I don't know if I'm lying to myself or not, but tell myself that he is maybe thinking about doing health and safety at some point. But I think it's very exciting to see this turn into more of a career that has real opportunity. It's not just the skeleton and framework of stuff. Like, there's meat on the bones now, and you can actually go out there and like build something for yourself. And
well, I can feel your enthusiasm. I can feel your passion for it. 9 years, you said, so it's never too late.
No,
really pleased again that you've achieved what you wanted to achieve.
Thanks,
really
me
pleased
too.
that you've come to EMA and that we have the benefit of your expertise. And thank you for taking the time out to be interviewed by myself.
Well, thank you for taking the time to talk to me. I really appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Okay, so that's us for today, viewers. For those of you that are already accredited and on the register, congratulations. And for those of you that aren't, hopefully this podcast has given you the kick in the backside, perhaps, that you need to just go and do it. It's out there. Health and safety profession, from the people that I know that work in it, is a wonderful place to be. I see it as being in service of others, and if you feel the same way, then we're definitely on the same page. Really appreciate you listening or watching this podcast today. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Look forward to catching up with you again soon, and in the meantime, stay safe out there, and bye for now.